Time now is 8:25. A new report from the United Ways of California is shedding light on a more accurate depiction of the cost of living here in California. Here to tell us about this report and what it all means is the CEO of the United Way of San Diego, Nancy Sasaki. Nancy, welcome back to the big show. I never know where to put the S. It's the United Ways of California, United Way of San Diego.
Correct.
So I scored 100 on that one.
You did. Perfect.
All right, but the bottom line is, aside from that frivolity, is the fact that it's really expensive to live here in San Diego, is it not?
Well, we already knew that. It's already been named the most expensive city in the country, so we already knew that. But what this study does is really begin to highlight how expensive it really is and what people need to make in order to survive here in San Diego County.
So tell me how the survey was done, the methodology, and then what was the thing that jumped out you thought, whoa, I didn't know that was coming our way.
Yeah, so the United Ways of California uses a lot of the public data that's available from the federal government, from other studies and statistics, and compiles it all, puts it all together. It looks at the whole state, but it also looks at specifically, you can kind of go down into each county. So talking about San Diego County, it takes a working family, 2 adults, 2 children, $116,000 annually to cover their basic needs. We're not talking about saving for retirement or saving for anything else. We're talking about just your basic needs.
So is this information meant to, is this something you put on the governor's desk, on the mayor's desk? Who has to see this?
Absolutely. Everybody has to see it, because there are some myths out there that people think that people who aren't able to survive in San Diego County maybe aren't working. But this study shows that 97% of the families that fall below that real cost measure have at least one person working in their family. But they're still not able to make the ends meet when you're talking about food, transportation, housing, childcare. And when you go on the website, you can actually play around with the makeup of the family and see that childcare costs, of course, go down when both kids are in school. But if both kids are not in school, your child care costs are
escalate.
Huge.
And I'm going to guess while that's a significant line item, I'm going to guess housing and energy are the two killers.
Housing is the most expensive in San Diego County. Housing is the one that takes up at least 30%, if not more. Some families spending as much as 40% on their housing costs. The other thing that's really surprising, that really stood out to me, 70% of single moms fall below the real cost measure.
And so then they're either getting assistance or they're somehow scratching out a living that we don't know how they're doing it.
Well, we talked to some of them, and some of them are, they're working full-time, and then they're doing something in part-time in the evenings, which means they're taking time away from their kids.
Who's going to raise the kids? And then that presents all sorts of other problems.
Exactly.
So where do we rank as the state of California? Are we the 3rd most expensive city?
Well, we're the most expensive in the country, so we are the most expensive in San Diego.
Oh, I'm sorry. So we're number 1.
We're number 1.
More so than like New York and places?
We're the most expensive from the statistics that we've seen in the past.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
All right, so we have all this information. Now what do we do with it? It seems like we all kind of know these problems, and yet, we're still getting taxed Bolivian. We're still having people go on strike, which continues to drive up. When we drive up the minimum wage, everything becomes even more expensive. So how do we get off this merry-go-round?
Yeah, some of it is really just having that information, so the people that are making these policy decisions or making these other types of decisions can use it and see what impact it's having on specific families and specific people in our community.
So I misinterpreted. I thought you said California was number 1.
No, San Diego.
All right. And that affects people's decisions to come live in San Diego, doesn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, I think that's part of why the unemployment rate is high. But the companies here talk about how hard it is to hire, because it's hard to get people to move here, with especially, again, the cost of housing is what will really determine that.
All right. So now we just wait and see.
It is about a little bit of a wait and see, but it's also continuing to get that message out there so that people hear how difficult it is to survive in San Diego, and maybe attend our in-person seminar that's coming up on October 7th.
Of all the things to be number 1 in, this is not the one, Nancy.
Absolutely not.
Thank you for sharing the information. I look forward to our next chat.